I'm Shae Russell from mining.com.au, and we are once again coming to you from the floor of the RIU Sydney Resources Roundup. Sitting next to me is Andy Tudor, and he's the Managing Director for Nexus Minerals. Andy, it's great to meet you. How are you?
Very well, you?
Very good, thank you. I'm great because I know we're going to get to play with the rocks in just a minute. First things first, I know you recently raised $8 million. Mate, I love nothing more than a cashed-up explorer. Tell me, how are you going to spend that money? Getting it in the ground?
Absolutely. The rig's turning now. We had just over $4 million when we started this latest raise. We've always maintained well-funded and always active exploring. So we've got just $12.2 million in the bank at the moment.
Excellent.
As of this morning. And the rig's been turning since last October. Had some great regional exploration success. So this is really to accelerate that. Now we can start turning on the RC rig to follow up with Aircore, which I suppose is a pretty well-worn path, but having this amount of funding means you can genuinely attack it with vigour, and we've also had the results that's warranted it. So I think that's been the big thing. We've raised the $4 million, turned on the Aircore rig. We're testing 18 regional targets at Wallbrook, 150 k's northeast of Kalgoorlie. If we hadn't had that success, well, we wouldn't need this money. So literally the success has been so strong that we then need to turn this RC rig on. It takes money. We had 3 American funds come in for the first time. So 2 of them will be substantial shareholders, and it was really positive received through the US. So it's a big tick for the due diligence being done on the company by these large up to $1 billion US funds that want to play in the sort of $30-40 million Australian small cap explorer. So it's exciting times.
It certainly is. Now, just to take everybody a step back a bit, you are exploring for gold in Western Australia, one of the most prolific gold regions in the country. Your flagship project is Wallbrook?
Wallbrook, correct.
Okay, so you said you've got the drills out there at the moment. What is sort of a high-level overview of the Wallbrook project?
So the project is intimately entwined with Northern Star's Carous Package. So this package ground used to be along the Saracen and Newmont. And so I managed to pull the package together off them in 2017-18, and we started drilling out there after that. Had immediate success. And we've got over 200 square kilometres there, or whatever tenements that Northern Star don't own, we do. And they're a sort of 4% shareholder in us as well, and supportive of us and our exploration activities in the area. And we made immediate success and utilised what we could learn out of Saracen and the success multi-million ounce project they've got at Carous Dam. So, and that sort of leads to the rocks. I mean, let's get to the rock part. Look, it's actually an easy one. This is 620 metres down at Carous, the underground of Saracens, so now Northern Stars. But again, you need to know if you're going to go exploring, what are you exploring for? Well, we need to know what the answer is, if you like. So that was what we started with, had to find that. So then we've been drilling at Crusader Templar, which is our resource area. So we've got over 300,000 ounces in resource, and it's all about the red rocks. So you need the red rocks, and you also there's a slight coffee colour to those as well. So you get the red and the coffee, and that's the alteration product that has come in with the gold. So very late stage, gold, that. So then you drill deep, we're 600, 700, 800 metres here, 5 and 6 gram dirt. And again, red rock. So out there, if it's rubbish, it's green, and if it's fantastic, it's red and it's white. So it's very visual, as you can imagine. We're drilling green. You then intersect these kind of rocks and you start getting excited, going pretty amazing.
We think we've found gold. All right, so let's just step this back, because I love it when I've got a geologist on my hands, and let's get a free geology lesson for everybody. Geology 101.
Yep.
So it's counterintuitive, because everybody would think when you find red rocks that maybe is more inclined to lead to iron ore or jasper. But in this case, finding red rocks, the non-geologist would think that, not a geologist.
No.
But the red rocks in this example, that indicates that you're heading into gold.
Correct.
Why is that?
The porphyry intrusions that have come up that prep the rocks ready for the final pulses, which bring up the gold mineralising fluids. So that's what it's all about. So you've had the porphyry intrusions come up and they follow the structural emplacement. At the end or at the waning period of any gold mineralising fluids, they tend to alter the final alteration product, oxidising fluids, convert some magnetite to hematite. which is your red rocks. So if you've got magnetite, you've got iron in the system, which you need to have carry gold. So then it converts to red rock. The alteration, but it's critical. So you need these porphyry, these red rocks, to find gold in this part of the world, and that's what we've got throughout. So you've got that. You then need this coffee-coloured albite alteration, it's called, which also brings the high grade gold, and then you also need quartz and you need the goethite in the oxide. So you need the quartz, you need you need iron, and then you need the fluids which convert the iron, and you get this hematite dusting. So that's where you get the gold, that's important. We spent like 70,000 metres of RC drilling and 10,000 metres of diamond at Crusader Templar to get this 300,000 ounce resources. But then when we go outside of that area, which is what we're now doing with the regional work, it's critical that we know this, because then when the gold's, when the dirt's coming out of the ground or the rocks are part of the air core, the geos, who are my same team that have been with me many, many years now and who did all of this drilling, their eyes are in out there.
Yeah.
It's so crucial to go, yep, we're in the good stuff. No, we're not.
Yep.
So, and this is another rock of ours. So this is 3.5 kilometres north of this resource area. And as you can see, very, very similar rock type. So I actually found this rock and walked around with my GPEC and picked this up 4 or 5 years ago and went, wow, this is poking out of the ground 3 kilometres north of this.
Yeah.
So we've now drilled that a few times, got the red rocks, got the grade, and that's the results of sort of what's sitting behind you there at Branches. So some sensational drill results out of it. And the high grade is because you've got the red rocks, the coffee-coloured rocks, and you've had the right ones. And that's what we're seeing now regionally with our air core work as well. So busy.
So what I'm hearing is cashed up out the wazoo, red rocks, right location.
Correct.
What can investors expect to hear next?
Look, the air core results will start coming out in about 3 weeks' time. The rig will finish in about a week, and then we've got an RC rig booked. Now we've got the money in the bank. RC rig's booked for the end of the month, and it'll head straight to this Paynes discovery, which we made as part of the air core. So air core results initially, going and then drilling the RC to follow it up. And in the meantime, we're actually finalising works with a joint venture partner to actually go and mine this at Crusader Templar. So do one of these small scale joint venture, small scale, relatively small, but big for a junior explorer.
Yep.
You make these discoveries. How do you monetize this at the same time? So we've got our exploration funding, our exploration budget, and at the same time, then we're dealing with partners to come in and actually fund everything from here moving forward.
Yep.
And then we share the gold that comes out the back end. So
Fantastic.
that's all of next year. So it's a pretty busy time for Nexus Minerals.
Certainly is. Listen, thank you so much for being here, but most importantly, thanks for letting me play with the rocks.
All good. Thank you.
Thank you.